Konnichiwa. Welcome to the History Inquirer. As we inquire into the past to understand our present. Today is a very exciting day as I'm happy to announce the start of my Japanese history series. The question is, where to begin? Beginning, of course. Therefore, it is time to roll back the clock all the way back to Archaic Japan, a time of myth and legend, where there were no clocks to speak of. This is a story of how the land of the rising sun became the land of the rising sun. In the distant past, two gods stood in a floating bridge of heaven. Wondering whether there was land below, they took a jeweled spear and dipped it down into the ocean. The brine that dripped from the point of the spear formed an island. Descending to this island, the gods, one male and one female, erected a pillar, and when they had danced round it and conversed in the proper order, the male speaking first, they produced offspring, the 8 main islands of Japan. The two gods in question were known as Izanagi and Izanami, and are very important with regards to Shinto, Japan's native religion, because they also gave birth to the sun, moon, and wind deities. And as stated in the Nihon Shoki, the Chronicles of Japan, then Izanagi no Mikoto and Izanami no Mikoto spoke with each other, saying, "We have already produced the great 8-island country, its mountains and rivers, grasses and trees. Why should we not produce one to rule over this empire?" Therefore, together they gave birth to the sun goddess called Ohirame no Muchi. And one version calls her Amaterasu Omikami. It is that version of her name that I'll be using going forward. The sun deity Amaterasu Omikami is the most important of these, as according to legend, the imperial family is directly descended from her. The first emperor being Jimmu, followed by his descendants to present day, which is promoted in Japan's 2 oldest written historical accounts, the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki, written in the late 600s and early 700s respectively. So the emperor was seen as an intercessor between the people and the sun goddess, and his position was seen as sacred. In order for someone to become emperor or empress, they had to be descended from Amaterasu, because otherwise they were seen as illegitimate. It's for this reason that the Japanese imperial office is the oldest hereditary office led by one family since ancient times, at least potentially. Historical evidence, however, paints a more recent picture of the imperial dynasty. Emperor Jimmu is said to have ruled around 660 BC. However, according to modern historians, a concentration of political power in Yamato, Japan, did not officially begin until the late 3rd or 4th century AD, and then continued to expand outward from there and develop over time. When the Japanese sent emissaries to China, they called their land Nihon, or Nippon, which translates to origin of the sun, or land where the sun rises. According to the Shingon sect of Buddhism, the historical Buddha transformed into a luminous being called Dainichi Nairai, or the Great Sun. Now, Buddhism has a place in Japanese culture right up there with Shinto. And going forward, we'll see why and how this occurred. And we also see this idea of the sun, the importance of the sun reflected in the Japanese flag. A sun flag was used in the flag of Japan as early as the 700s AD, with the current one being adopted in 1999. It is known as the Nishoki, or flag of the sun, with a deep red dot in the middle called Hinamaru, or circle of the sun. The colors symbolize purity, simplicity, peace, energy, balance, harmony, things very much important to Japanese culture. As you go forward, we should learn why these things are so important. And now you know why Japan is called the land of the rising sun. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time on History Inquirer. Thank you.